I'm going to start the new topic, which is the Logbox. Okay, so now let us discuss about the Logbox few things. Okay, so now first of all, what is the Logbox functionality? We'll discuss about the points. I'll put it here. What is the Logbox and why companies use a Logbox? Logbox and what are the advantages? First of all, we need to understand what are the advantages. What are the advantages of using Logbox? Then, which country the Logbox is using, is following the Logbox process is. So we'll discuss about the one by one and also business process of Logbox. Once all these things will be discussed, then we'll go for the configuration of Logbox. Okay, so first let us discuss about the what is the Logbox. Okay, so now in simple terminology, if I would say Logbox is a post box. Simple terminology, if I would say Logbox is a kind of post box where it will collect customers checks and send to the bank. Okay, this is the only the functionality of the Logbox. Okay, if anyone will have any further query, so please stop in between and you can raise a question. Okay, if you are not clear. Okay, so because this is the important one. That in earlier days also, even since the beginning, okay, the Logbox is a simple terminology. If I would say it's a post box. Okay, then why do companies use the point number one? Is it clear? The point number one. Hello. Is it clear? The point number one.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So the second one. I'll copy from here directly. Why companies are using the Logbox functionality? Then what are the advantages? Okay, first thing, let us understand why companies use a Logbox functionality. Okay, so let us understand here. Now, what advantages the organizations are going to gain? Okay, so the Logbox here, the Logbox ideally set up at geographically geographical location. Geographical area wise. Okay, so now let us understand our organization, okay, our company code is a Z0SG. I'll take that example like this. So this is my company code. Let us assume this company code, okay, ZSSG is a company code. Company code. Okay. So they are having the so this company code, they are having the banks like this. The same bank, let us assume. Now they are having the bank one. Let us assume we will talk about the simple terminology, HDFC Bank or SBI Bank. Because now no more HDFC Bank, okay, because of that merger. Okay, fine. Okay. So now I have a bank here. SBI Bank, it is there. Okay, SBI Bank. Bank, it's a branch, is a Mumbai branch. I'll put it straight forward. Mumbai branch here. So now I have a branch here, the same SBI. SBI, it's a Kolkata branch. Then I have another branch here, SBI Chennai branch. So now geographical wise, what organization has done? Okay, they have the multiple locations. Okay, in the multiple locations, they are running business. Okay, at the same time, even though they have the multiple bank accounts. Okay, now let us assume. Yeah, fine. Okay, so now what I have mentioned here, the Logbox ideally set up at geographical level. Okay, so now what they have done, let us assume Mumbai branch is a, okay, for Mumbai customers, this is the Logbox what they have set up. Okay, but I will explain you the functionality in detail, you don't worry. Okay, so now in Kolkata, they have set up one more Logbox. Then in Chennai, they have also set up one more Logbox here. Okay, so what will happen? The moment when we are going to set up the Logbox functionalities, okay, the simple way, now let us assume, now when the customers want to make the payment, remember, make the check payments, especially the Logbox is used for the check payments. Check payments, they will send the digital or online checks to information to Logbox from logbox to the respective location or to the respective the nearest logbox. So what will happen here? The moment, okay, I will give you that the example, clear example here. Now let us assume I have the customers like this. So now I have a customer 1, customer 2 here, then customer 02, customer 3, eight, 9, 10, 11. Let us assume. So I have the multiple customers where I am dealing with business with them. So at this point of time, what will happen? So let us assume this customer is belongs to the, okay. So I'll take only one geographical location. Okay, so Mumbai location. Okay, so what will happen? All these customers which are located nearest to the Mumbai. Okay, so but not exactly in the Mumbai. Okay, near to Mumbai. So what will happen? The moment when they are sending, okay, checks to the overdue line or due line items. Okay, the moment, let us assume now today the invoices are due. Let us think about 5th July 23. Okay, the invoices are due. All the customers invoices are due as a date. What will happen? The 5th of July, the all the listed customer invoices are due. Okay, so one customer, maybe the amount, payable amount might be differ. At this point of time, let us think about okay. So now here, when customers want to make payment in the form of checks, then what they have to do? They have to prepare a checks before due date and send them to to the bank or the respective organization. Okay, send them to the, okay, our company code, our company. So now what will happen here? So before due date, okay, if the customer invoices are due from Mumbai to, let us assume my company code which is located in Bangalore. At this point of time, what they need to do, if they want to prepare a checks before due date, they must have to, prior to the due date, they must have to prepare the checks before due date. Okay, let us assume the 3rd of July 23. Okay, what they have done on this date, the customers must have to prepare the checks on 3rd of July itself. 3rd of July 23. So here Why they need to prepare before prior 2 days? The meaning that in case if they want to send the checks to the from Bangalore location to no, sorry, from Mumbai location to Bangalore location, it may take time. Okay, the physical checks I'm talking about. Okay, so now let us assume, okay, 3rd of 7th, what they have done, they have prepared a checks and they have couriered. Okay, what will happen? We have received check 4th of 4th of July 23. We have received checks from customers. Checks from customers. Then what will happen here? The same day, maybe the business hours has been closed. As soon as once we receive checks from the customer, the business hours already closed. The bank business hours and as well as our organization business hours also. Then there is an option, the 5th July, which we want to deposit the checks into the banks on 5th of July 23. The checks are deposited in the bank for collections. As we know, well and good. In case if the checks are outstation checks, definitely it will take the time. I mean, more than 48 hours or more than 28 hours. It's a depends on the depends on the distance. Okay, it's a depends on the bank to bank. The process might be different. Let us assume all the checks are outstation checks only here. So it may take time 48 hours to get the money from the customers. So now when I will get the money exactly, if I will deposit checks on 5th of July, if there are no holidays in between, I will get the checks on 20. I will get the amount from the customers. Okay, we will get the amount from customers on 7th. Okay, we will get amount from the customers when 7th of July. You can see here completely, if we can understand here, 3rd of the invoices are due 5th of July. They have prepared checks on 3rd of July and they sent it to the organization for the collection. Then we have received checks on 4th July. Then due to that, the bank hours or working hours close. So due to that fact, we have deposited that checks into the bank on 5th of July. Then on 7th, after 2 days, we have received money from the customers. If we can understand here the process, each and every activity. So each and every activity, we must have to involve the manual activity. Okay, so now everywhere the manual intervention is there here. Okay, so without manual intervention, each and every activity which is not working here. At this point of time, in order to avoid all these manual activities, what the banks are come up with the functionality, call it as a Lockbox functionality. Okay, so if we look at the above activities, all are above activities to perform all activities to perform all must require manual intervention. So without manual intervention, we are unable to perform each and every activities. Now the functionality of the Logbox, let us assume I would like to avoid all these manual activities. Okay. So now the concept of Logbox will facilitate to avoid manual activities during the during during the check payments check payments check payments. So how the manual activities will be avoided here? Let us talk about here. I'll take the same example here. Okay, so now I have the customers here. I'll copy these customers. I'll paste it. Okay, so now these are the customers what I am having here. So all these customers, okay, before going to facilitate the Lockbox functionality, you in the sense the organization must have to communicate the Lockbox information to the customers, and that is the one of the biggest challenge in the Lockbox functionality. Okay, because each and every customer has to agree that okay, in order to send the checks to the Lockbox instead of sending physical checks to the organization. Then now all these customers are located in Mumbai location. At this point of time, what I have done here, for all these customers, I have set up one Lockbox for Mumbai location. Logbox for Mumbai location. What I am going to instruct to all these customers, the moment when they are sending checks to our organization, instead of sending checks to directly to the organization, what I am going to instruct to the customers here, then initial process would be this is my, let us assume. Okay, the process understand here. The process is a very important here. Now, take like this. This is our company code. Z0 SG is our Z0 SG. This is our company code. Okay. So now we have the bank. Let us assume I have the bank is a Citibank. Citibank. Okay. So now the Citibank is going to facilitate the Logbox functionality. Okay. So what will happen here? The Citibank is been providing the Logbox functionality. So I'm setting up the Logbox for geographical location. Okay, I'll take from the above because we have already defined here. Okay, Mumbai, Kolkata. Okay, the same. Okay, sorry, I'll take the same bank. SBI. Okay, so now the Logbox which I'm setting here, one is a Mumbai, one is a Kolkata, one is for Chennai. One is a Kolkata, another one is for Chennai here. So what will happen? These are the Mumbai. This is the Mumbai Logbox. Remember, this is the Logbox. It's not the. Then I'll copy. So this is also my Logbox here. So the bank is facilitating geographical wise the Logbox functionality. Now here, okay, so now you can understand here. So geographical wise, the Logbox are set up here. Then the moment when the customers, Mumbai customers, which these are the customers, okay, the customers, okay, I'll put it straightforward. Mumbai customers. So all the Mumbai customers, what they will do, they will send the, now I have the customers. Okay, I'll take that example also instead of taking this one. Customers. Mumbai customers. Okay, so customer 01. Okay, I have the customer. Okay, 02. Okay, all the customers, the moment when they want to make the payment, then what they will do? Okay, so now initially the process would be, instead of preparing the manual checks here, instead of preparing the Mumbai customers, all the Mumbai customers will prepare the checks, they will send them to Mumbai Logbox in the form of, remember this is the important here, in the form of digital or in the form of online. In the form of digital or in the form of online. Online. Okay, the moment, see, as soon as once the prepare checks and they will send it to this Logbox, from here to the checks will be, it will be reached to the this Logbox here. You can understand the process here. How much time in order to send the money, instead of sending the money by physically. Okay, if I want to deposit money into the bank, I have to visit to the bank. I must have to fill the form and I need to stay in the queue. Then I need to deposit the money into the bank. That is a manual activity and I must have to present into the bank. Instead of that one, if I would like to transfer the money by online, then within a fraction of minutes, I can do the process. I can process the amount. The similar logic applicable here also. The moment when you want to prepare a checks, if you want to send it to the organization for the collection, then it may take 2-3 days time. The moment when you are going to prepare checks and you need to send them immediately in the form of digital to the Logbox, within a fraction of minutes, we can send that information to the Logbox. Then as soon as once the Logbox will have that information, then the Logbox will be sent from here. What bank does is our bank, this is the SBI bank. Okay, this bank will pull the checks from here, then it will immediately send that checks for the collection. Okay, so now here there is no manual activity. The main advantage here is that there is no manual activity, and at the same time the process would be, it's an immediate process. There will not have any delays here. Okay, immediately the bank will send, as soon as once they will send checks for the collection. You see, now instead of here, if you see here, they are preparing checks 3rd of 7 and we are getting money on 7th of okay, 3rd of July, we are getting money on 7th of July. You can see here in between there is a 4 days, there is a, we are wasting the time. Instead of this one, the moment on 3rd of July, as soon as once they will prepare the checks and they will send it to the Lockbox, on the same day, immediately the checks will be sent for the collection. Because here, from here, the bank will pull the checks and it will send them for the collection to the customers' banks immediately. Then, even if the checks are relevant for the outstation, what will happen here? So the checks are prepared on 3rd of July. We will get the money on 5th of July. Obviously, before due date or as on due date, we are receiving money from the customers. And the one biggest advantage here is that we are completely avoiding the manual activity. No manual intervention to be required here. But we need to inform to the we need to communicate to the customers about the Logbox, where the Logbox has been installed, and also what is the address of the Logbox number. There are few information, few things we need to communicate to the customer. Okay, that will be taken care by the organization. So now this is the, if I would say, the advantages of the advantages for that organization is a, they are avoiding the manual activity completely. They are eliminating manual activity. Then Then, what are the advantages we have already discussed here? Then which countries are using? We need to understand here. See, nowadays, here, see, the Logbox functionality, the Logbox functionality is used in US. Okay, in US only the Logbox functionality. Okay, it is famous in US. Okay, now other companies, other countries like Germany, okay, and other countries, they are not following this Logbox functionality, but we must have to aware of this one, the Logbox functionality. Okay, so all the countries does not provide the Logbox functionality. Only US is going to provide the service of the Logbox functionality. Then the file formats of Logbox. The file formats, the Logbox is going to read BAI and BAI to file format. Okay, so what we have seen earlier, so there is a difference between BAI and BAI2. So if we are going to use BAI format, the bank is going to send less information, and also at the same time we need to understand the difference between BAI and BAI2 file format. Okay, first let us understand difference between BAI and BAI2 Logbox file formats. So what will happen here? Let us talk about the BI format. So the BI format, let me show you in the system so that it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, so when we follow BI file format, the bank will send less information, and with the BI file, we can only able to post GL entries, and we may not able to post the GL entries. We may not clear sub ledger. We may not clear sub ledger line items. So the sub ledger line items, okay, if you remember when we had a discussion about the electronic bank statement for the customers, what we have done for vendor payment, let me explain you with the example here. So if you follow the BI format, what will happen? If you follow the BI to file format, what will happen? Okay, then when we receive payment from the customer, okay, so now the accounting entries as follow. Now at the time of customer sales, whatever it may be, sales and services, whatever it may be, at the time of sales, what would be the accounting entry? Customer account will be debit, then to sales account will be credit. This is the accounting entry. So then when we receive payment from the customers, then what will happen here? The accounting entry would be our main bank account will be debit, then to customer will be credited here in simple terminology. Okay, the moment when we are receiving payment from the customers, what system should supposed to do? Okay, first let me explain you here another thing here, the important thing. This is the customer account here. Okay, these are the normal accounting entries, but as per the SAP terminology, okay, as per the SAP, we have the clearing account. What will happen at the time of sales? These are the normal accounting entries. At the time of sales, the same accounting entry. When the customer initiation, okay, when the customer initiate the payment, then what would be my accounting entry? Check deposit account is going to debit, then customer will be credit here. This is at the time of check deposit into bank. So this is the accounting entry. As soon as once I receive payment from the customer, what will happen here? My main bank account will be debit. my main bank account will be debit. Then check to check deposit account, or this is the check deposit account or clearing account. This is the clearing account. Check deposit account will be credited here. So what will happen? The finally this check deposit account and here both will be nullified here. See now this debit here, this will be credit here, both will be nullified. The final one would be a customer will be credit here, the same entry. Then my main bank account is debiting here. In this process, what will happen if you are going to use BI format? This customer, okay, this is the entry, the customer will be credit, okay, and so this is the here. If you see here, this is the posting area one. Two are the GL related entries only. Check deposit account is a bank GL account. Main bank account is a bank GL account. Both are the, if you remember, posting area one, posting area two. There are two things are there. The moment when you are posting, this is the posting which is relevant for posting area 01. Posting area 01 is nothing but your posting area is nothing but it's a GL postings. Posting area 01 is a GL postings. Then this is the subledger posting here. Posting area 2. This is the posting area 2 here. Here. Posting area 2. Posting area 02. Posting area 02 is the subledger clearing. Subledger clearing. What will happen here? Subledger clearing, posting area 01. I'll put it here. Posting area 01 is a GL clearing. GL clearing. So now if you use the BAI format, the system will not clear your subledger postings here. So this is what the one of the disadvantages in the BI. Okay, BAI format here. Okay, this will not be clear here. Okay, 02 postings. Then then in case if we are going to use the BAI2 file format, so you don't worry about who is going to send that BAI file formats, and the bank will take care of that one. Okay, the banks will send it back to us. Okay, so about that, including some checks information, some customer line items information. Okay, the BI file formats will be provided by the bank. You don't worry about it. No need to prepare manually. Now, okay, so now this is the functionality of the BI. Now, if you use the BAI2 file format, BAI2 file format, what will happen? Let us see here. Then I'll take the same example. When we follow the BAI2 file format, the banks will facilitate the format. Okay, don't worry about that one. Then they will send the customer line items information and checks information, and along with along with check information to clear the customer line items. So what they will do, as I mentioned here, only they will send the minimum information in the BI file. But in the BI2 file format, the banks will send the information, okay, which include customers and as well customer document clearing document numbers, line item numbers, and as well as the checks information. Okay, each and every line item, okay, will have the clear information. So by following this functionality, by following BAI2 file format, then the system will at the same time when we are going to upload the file into the system will clear the GL entry. System will post the GL entry posting area 1, and at the same time the system will post the entry posting area 2 also. But in the BI format, it is not happening. It is only posting the GL entries. It's a posting area 01 only. This is the difference between BAI and BAI2 file formats. Okay. So now, if you have any further queries, so please let me know here. Okay, fine. So I have explained about the functionality with enough examples here. Okay. So now let us go to the configuration here. So what are the configuration steps to be required in order to, if I want to do the configuration of the Logbox? It's only the minimum steps to be required if I want to do the configuration. Then, okay. So before going to do the configuration, let me explain you about Logbox business process. Business process. This is a very important one. Then customers will send the checks to the checks directly to the bank. Checks to directly to the bank in the form of electronic. You can say anything in the form of electronic, in the form of digital format. Okay, so you can say anything here. Then once we receive checks, from customers, the checks information will be available at Logbox or in Logbox. Initially, what they have to do, they have to send the checks to the Logbox directly. They will not send the checks to the bank. Okay. So the checks information will be available in the log or will be stored in the Logbox. Then from Logbox, the bank in the sense here, the bank, what I have taken is example SBI. The bank will collect all checks information and it will send to customers banks for the collection. the collection. Okay, so our bank will be collect all the checks from the Lockbox. It will pull and that will be sent to the bank. Okay, then the next one is that as so once we receive payments from customers, the payments information file will be the payment information file will be sent to. So this is the EBS file. The payment information file is nothing but a BAI file. Then it is a electronic bank statement file. EBS file will be sent to SAP for reconciliation. For reconciliation. For reconciliation. What will happen? The moment once the checks will be collected, then this information the bank will be, it is only the one way mechanism only. So then the SBI, the bank will send the checks to the SAP here. Okay, I'll put it here is the straightforward is the SAP. So now SAP will process that file, then it will post to the accounting entries. This is the only one-way mechanism only. There is no outbound, only customers, you need to get the information from the bank only. Okay, so now here sent to the reconciliation purpose, the SAP system will process the payments, will post. Okay, instead of that one. Okay, will process the EBS file and post to the accounting entries. This is the then end-to-end process. In case at the same time, what will happen? The moment when the system is going to post the information into the system, as I mentioned, two things. You need to remember the system need to post posting area 1 and posting area 2. Make sure that one. If your file will not be processed or will not be posted to the posting area 1, posting area 2, okay, you need to check in the file why the system is not cleared the line items. So either it's a subledger or it's a bank postings. Then there is a one more functionality. Okay, so you need to understand on account postings. Okay, this is the end-to-end process what we have discussed. So there is a one more thing. Sometimes the system may not clear the subledger items. Subledger in the sense the system may not clear the customer line items. Sorry, this one, customer line items. What will happen? The reason being that we need to understand. Now, let us assume customer 01, he is having the due items, like it's a invoice number 1, invoice 1, 2, 3. The due amount would be, let us think about, then it's a invoice. This is the invoice is a due. Let us assume then invoice, then this is the then I have the. So now these are the invoices are due. Okay, what will happen? The customer yet to make the payment. Okay, all the invoices are due today only. Okay, so now I'll put it here. Then I'll do due date. I'll 05th. July 23rd. We'll take that example. Okay. So all the invoices are due on 5th of July only. Okay. So then what will happen here? The customer has to make payment 1,74,000 rupees. At this point of time, the customer did the payment, without a reference of customer line items. Without reference of the customer line items. So now here, this is the invoice number 123 122 100 222. Now I don't know, the customer did not mention during the payment, did not specified the amount for this invoice 30,000, for this invoice 20,000. Like this, the customer did not mention. Straightforward, the customer did the payment 1,70,000 rupees. 1,70,000 rupees. Let us assume 1,70,000 rupees without mentioning the reference numbers. Without mention the invoice reference numbers. Okay, invoice reference numbers of customer line items. Then what will happen? We should suppose to receive from the customer 1,74,000, but instead of that one, customer made the payment 1,70,000 rupees. System does not know against which line item the amount should be adjusted. At this point of time, business users need to adjust this amount by manually. Okay, against which invoice they have to adjust that one. And also the one invoice, let us assume if they would like to adjust this amount with these 3 invoices or these 3 invoices, it depends on 1,54,000. This line item will be cleared with the residual item. Okay, it's not the partial payment. All the line items will be cleared with the residual process only. It's not the partial payment. Okay, so now the 1,70,000, it will be directly posted to the invoice account without clearing any line items. Then the customers, the business users need to clear or need to adjust the amount for each and every invoice. Okay, then all the rest will be cleared. Only the one line item will be still open state, and then that will be adjusted with the residual clearing process. Then that will be taken care by the business. So finally the on account posting, in the sense directly this amount will be, the received amount will be hit to the customer then, but system will not clear any line items. This is what the on account postings. Okay, we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, we'll do the configuration in tomorrow's session. Then we'll continue the session in tomorrow. Okay, yeah, thank you. See you tomorrow.